Yes, I want to give thanks and praise to the Most High. Give thanks for life. Give thanks again for being the great man, host, Tony Barber Shop, one of the most conscious black men in the UK. I'm not just saying it because I'm here, but I know Tony for more than 20 years, and he's involved in the whole thing about boxing and taking pictures, everything. But Tony's been one of my greatest friends, and it's a pleasure to be in this space, give us the space to express ourselves. So we have a big up Tony Barbershop, the most conscious, progressive one in the UK. One day we will see him face to face, but right about now, he's behind the scene. So we want to big him up. Buzzy Bee, how are you
Yes,
keeping?
I'm top of the world,
Mm.
flapping my wings, looking down at the rest of humanity.
All right then. But Buzzy, we don't really have time to really blag about the players now. Let's go straight to the cheers because we only have 20 minutes and them time go fast, you know. So first we want to big up Jam's event.
Yes, yes.
Yes, how do you find it went?
Yeah, the Sports Club event, which took place on the 22nd of May. It was quite a successful event, in my view. Obviously, the discussions were quite spirited, and the panel obviously also added their contributions as well. I think one of the marked difference is that, in my view, it was much more in terms of the structure and the way that the entire evening unfolded. I thought it was really fantastic, and I think the quality of comments was also good.
Okay, absolutely. Because definitely the quality of people asking questions, made a contribution. I learned a lot from that. And one of the things, and even just to say that, it's very important for us to really listen and learn. And I learned a lot yesterday. Well, I just want to jump forward here because, as you know that, we're looking to put a book together, and the book is it's called Redefine Relationship. I find a good black man, a good black woman. We've identified some people who's contributed chapter. In fact, some people could have sums already now.
Yes.
I know that you're very much on board as the editor. I know it's an unfolding project, because it's not something you just put together overnight. It's an unfolding, and you really have to work. But how's things moving on that level there right now?
Well,
because
things are moving quite progressively in terms of the writers getting on board and discussing their ideas with me. I've had some discussions with the writers, and they're very enthusiastic and all fired up to contribute. I've been discussing some of the details in terms of the subject matter, because obviously we don't want a duplication of subject matter. So I was liaising with the authors and have been making constant contact with them, and they're quite fired up to contribute to this book, because they think it is a book that is absolutely crucial, particularly in our community, where the topics of relationship is obviously it's always animated, for want of a better word, in terms of when you're talking about relationships amongst yourselves. Not only intimate relationships, but relationships in general. But even though that this is focusing on relationships in terms of love and so forth, I think that lessons can also be learned in terms of general relationships as well.
I think it's also very important to understand that this is a tool book, it's a kit book, what I mean? Where if you look at the subject matters, for example, we do have Dr. Love who will be contributing, and his theme is, the subject matter is how to find a good black man, a good black woman. Again, as a subject in its own.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
We have a sister, Edison talking about spirituality, subject in its own, we have something about self-love. So it's really a toolkit where people can literally look at the book and learn from it.
Absolutely, because that's the whole essence of this book, because when you told me about the project after that successful seminar, I obviously we wanted to find the nature and how we really want this book to be. We didn't want it to be you know, people just pick it up and read, and that's the end of the matter. You know, you and I both concluded that it should be solutions orientation, like a toolkit, like a manual, and perhaps offer some solutions, or even point people in directions, or give them a wider scope, or to expand on a way in which they could deal with their relationship, whatever it is. But what's more exciting for me is when I saw the plethora of different subjects and angles that's out there. There were some of them that I didn't even consider, and I'm saying, wow, this is going to be very interesting. Looking at, because most of the time you go to relationship seminars and the topics and the themes seems to be repetitive, seems to be the same, and everybody's dealing. But this one is coming. The people coming with all different angles.
Well, in fact, just to jump in there, that I was saying to myself, I wouldn't mind getting someone to talk about sex, but I didn't know what angle or what to, you know.
Yes. And
I phoned this particular sister, and she goes that she wants to contribute. So I said, what are you going to contribute? She wants to talk about sex. So she wants to talk about certain sex styles and, you know, and whatever. Yes. I thought, wow.
Yeah, because you know, quite often it's when you go to, because most of the time, in my experience anyway, when you go to relationship seminars or talks or workshops or whatever, that is never the focus. People shy away from that. It's always about the symptoms of the psychological relationship between two partners when that's broken down, with its communication and resolving cheating. It's all psychological in things that people do. People seem quite shy of dealing with it. I've never been to one where that is the focus. And intimacy is important. We're human beings. It's a natural gift that was given to us. And I think that it should be used effectively, because it also helps relationship. It's not by no means should be minimized. And then I spoke to Ricardo, who also wants to contribute. I was quite interested to find out what his contribution is going to be, because, you know, I'm thinking, so
big up to Ricardo.
So then he rang me, and we, you know, we got into a conversation, and I said, well, what's the area you're dealing with? And he says to me, well, I'm looking at something sexual. And so I said, well, we've already got somebody who's doing it. He said, I said, what's the angle? He said, well, they're dealing with positions and so on. I said, well, I'm dealing with sex and health. And fitness, because you have to be fit. Sex is about energy. You're exchanging energies, and if you're not eating the right day, you're not fit. A relationship can suffer. You know, like in that scenario yesterday, you got the woman wandering off for different reasons. Who knows? There might be there could have been deeper underlying issues there. Maybe he's not performing properly. Maybe he's too tired to perform properly. Maybe he's working and not eating properly and things like that. And you have to be fit.
You have to be fit.
You can't go there and drop down and things like that. No, out of breath and get hard. You have to be fit. I'm sorry. You've got to eat properly, and you have to look after your sexual health. I'm sorry. You know, I don't see why people should be bashful about it, talking about it. You know, that's how we all got here, I assume. Well, I can't talk for everybody, but I know that's how I got here. You know, but I don't think we should be ashamed to talk about it, because it's important. People think, well, I don't want to talk about it, a bit squeamish about it. Well, I don't want to. But then it becomes a pressing issue, and then it's all pent up inside, and it's an issue where they can't talk about it. And that must be the most frustrating thing. And that's why I think it's important that we have two topics here, but from two different angles. One is looking at positions and so forth to improve your performance. The other is looking at in terms of you being fit and looking after your sexual health.
Absolutely right.
I think it's critically important.
I'm glad Ricardo come on board and deal with that. That's important. I know that. That's a subject in the matter itself as well.
Absolutely.
Isn't it? Definitely.
Yeah.
You know something that Buzzy Bee, right? You know, most books, right? What talk about relationship, right?
Yeah.
It's really geared towards women, you know. Right?
Yeah, well, you know.
Let me just jump in for right?
You go.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I'm going to ask you, right? When was the last time, right? You read a romantic book, had a hot bath, a sip, a bottle of wine or whatever?
I've never done it.
You see what I'm saying? And it never happened,
My missus has. You know, my missus, they've always.
But most books are geared towards women.
Because I didn't feel.
Right? Because that's where the market is.
Yes.
Yes. So what we're saying here, change the balance role, you know what I mean?
For a change.
For a change, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because what I say is that, because I've been to a lot of things to do with relationships, like I said, and I've said this on your show the other day, with one of your guests on, you know, and most of them, like I said, seems to be, again, geared towards women. I'm not saying that as a criticism or anything. I'm just saying that's the way it is. And I said perhaps what underpins that is because that women are better communicators in terms of what they're feeling, and
Yeah,
socially,
more.
socially men has been socialized not to be. You know, you don't want to talk too much, otherwise you look too weak. Or while you're chatting to business, you're not socialized to behave that way because it's not seen as a manly thing to do. Or man up, you don't go crawling in the corner complaining about, oh, come on, if she did you this for what? Just man up and deal with it. Whereas women have been given that space to free and vet their spleen in some cases, or their anger, or their frustration, whatever they feel. But nobody batters an eyelid because that's what they've always done, and so therefore, but men have never really done that. So I think in trying to get the balance right, because I'm one that's always for balance. You know, yes, you give women their space because they've been socialized that way, and there's a certain thing with that. But I also believe that men should also have the equal balance as well in that regard too, because men are never brought into the conversation, and sometimes, in my view, women wonder, oh, men don't want to be part of it. Well, because we're not fit to be part of it because it's not geared towards us. Because a lot of the relationship talk I hear normally is about resolving what women are experiencing as opposed to what men are experiencing. And I think that might have come about because, like I said again, women tend to articulate or talk about their feelings more. So the market is geared towards them, and it's just evolved that way. So men have never been part of the conversation, really. So I said that to some women, well, the reason why we don't get, because we don't feel part of the conversation. When we do turn up, we're there to use as a dagger board to throw daggers at us. You do this, because you know how many times I get it. I said, but it's got to do with me. I'm just, I can't necessarily speak for all men, and that's why a lot of men don't come. Because last time I said to a friend of mine, I'm going to a relationship, and he said to me, good luck to you. Oh yeah, he said good luck, because he said the reason why I stopped going because whenever you go, I'm always getting attacked, and it's got nothing to do with that. I'm always getting attacked by women who might have had a particular experiences, and they said you men, and he said, well, why am I being attacked here? I don't know anything about it, but the situation, I can't represent those particular men. And I do feel exactly the same way. I would say to these women, well, I don't know what you're talking about. I can't speak for my friend as to what he does or what he doesn't do. I don't know what's in his history or what's influencing him to behave in that way. Of course, I can offer you of what I think should happen and what's a fair way to deal with the situation. But I in no way feel any sense of responsibility at all. And I think that's why, because men, a lot of guys feel that whenever it's there, they're the one feet on the attack.
Okay then. Alright then, look like the roof are caving, by the way. That's how I'm going to play it. Okay, what I was going to say is that, as you know, we're looking to get the book out definitely by this year.
Yes.
Yeah, so what would be we spoke about it, because one thing we're looking to do is to actually do works in people's homes, definitely in schools, colleges. Definitely gonna have a massive
everywhere
book club.
Yeah.
It could be everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, well, we've got massive. We've got great plans for this book in terms of the marketing strategy.
And tell me, just on the record, it's going to be the biggest book ever come out.
Relationship book. So watch out for this, because I think that the verb that you use is a very strong one as well. It's one that engages people, because when you look at the context of our relationships, and I don't need to really go into details about it. When you use the word redefining, that makes you sit up and think. Perhaps the person who thought, well, I'm never going to be in a relationship again, because I've come across people like that, and I said, wow, obviously I can't judge people because I don't know what actually brought them to that point, but psychologically, that's where they are, and I'm saying, wow, but when you hear redefining it, perhaps it could plant a seed to say, well, now that our relationships are being redefined, perhaps I might reconsider, just might open the door. And that's what I like the term redefining. Really like it, because there's a lot of things that have to be redefined. Because people have a definition, a broad definition that they work with. It could be a social definition. It could be a definition that they inherited from a past relationship. It could be a definition of relationship that they inherited from their culture, from their grandmother, from their whatever brought that experience to them in terms of the experience of the relationship. That's the way that they're going to interpret it, and they will tell you, this is the definition of it. You can't tell me because this is what I've always experienced. This is it, and that's it. So because I've had these number of experiences, and that has defined it for me in terms of what a relationship with, certainly in dealing with a person from our community. So I don't need anybody to tell me. I can clearly articulate it. But the redefining should make them want to consider that no, it's just what's happened to you. You just happen to encounter a number of bad experiences, but it is by no means representative of all. You know, particularly I can talk about black men because most of the actions that I have got was about what we are doing, collectively, and not doing. So I have to see it from the male perspective. I do understand the female perspective too, but I have to see it from the male perspective because I'm a man first and foremost. I've been socialized as a man. I'm not saying that everything that I have been socialized with is always right, was always right, because there's certain things that I adjust, that I see my father pass on to me and stuff like that. Obviously, I was in a slightly different society in a different time, and some of the things that he passed to me, I didn't think was necessary to work in this particular time where I am, but there were lots that I carry forward, because I've been socialized to be a man, and so therefore that is, that becomes the crux of the matter. So redefining the relationship, I think it is important.
It's very important.
Redefining the way we deal with it.
Okay. We've got about a minute left.
Wow.
Oh,
that was quick.
So I was going to say to you, is there a website or anybody can follow us on Twitter, or is anything we set up?
Yeah, well, we're gonna obviously we are in the process now of we're gonna be setting up this so that everybody can follow. But if you want to make any inquiries or anything like that, you can email me. It's bb3dmedia@gmail.com. But we're gonna have the blog up running soon.
Yeah, running soon.
It's gonna be the name of the book. Redefining relationship, finding a good black man and a good black woman. We're gonna have that running soon, and so that you can. But this is a very exciting book, and I hope that you're excited as we are. And you can hear the enthusiasm in Dougie's voice and certainly in mine. So as Dougie said, this is going to be the book of the century in terms of relationships, because it's about redefining and also re-establishing good relationships amongst ourselves.
All right, give thanks.
Good.
That's it.